Hi there, this is Art and Such with part 2 of my Judy Jetson pattern for the rainbow loom. In part 1 we put together our body, which you'll have handy on your holding hook. And now we're going to start on the head and the hair. So for this you'll need your loom in the same configuration. And you'll start with 2 white bands coming from your first peg on the center to your second peg on the center, followed by 2 sets of double skin tone, so 2 bands on each of these sets. You'll take 2 white pegs from your top peg on the center to your top on the side, 2 pegs down to the other side, and on either side you'll put 2 white bands followed by 2 skin tone bands, and we'll meet those up from the 3rd pegs on either side to the 4th pegs in the second. 2 bands skin tone coming down here, 2 bands from here, and you can pause your video and put those on. Next we're going to make some eyes. If you have beads, pony beads, you can use those, but I found it looked a little bit funny to me. I thought they were a little too big for the head. If you have smaller beads you'd like to try, you can. And if you've been using beads for the eyes, you know the standard procedure. Put it on your hook, grab the end, and bring it on top. We are going to do black eyes for this Judy pattern. So I'll wrap a black band 3 times around my hook. If you would like to have a little white on the outside, you can take a white and wrap it so that there are 2 loops on either side. And we'll be bringing that all onto a skin tone with 2 such eyes. I'm just going to use the black this time because, as I said, the white seems to blend in a little too well with the white of this, or the paleness of the skin and the white of the hair. So I'm just going to use black on this one. I did use white on my first one, and I'll show you again. It's kind of faded in there. We're going to take our eyes and put them onto a single skin tone band. Bring them over while supporting this really well on the end of your hook. And try and keep them a little bit separate when you do this. We'll put this on one end on the second peg on either side. Split the eyes, and I'm actually going to bring it down this time. So get your hook in between the bands in the center and pull one down over the center, 3rd. So this is what you're going to have. We're going to put a couple of caps, so we'll just put one across from the 3rd to the 3rd. It's a single and a triangle band formation. And I'm not going to put one over the, maybe we will put one over the eyes just so that we can get that top one in there as well. But that one's more optional actually. Alright, we're ready to put on our face extension. So if you made one in the video, you have 2 sets of double white bands capped about twice at the bottom. We're going to put that on the top peg on the side. We're going to pull our cap bands onto this 3rd band down. And if you want, you can grab one of these bands and bring it over the 2nd peg. We can put our body on now. You'll need to decide which part you want to face forward, but don't worry about it too much because for the most part on a pattern like this we can move the around to face the way we prefer. I'm going to just pull this down so it's out of the way. We'll get that over the next peg. And we have our other hair extension, which can face in either direction. This is the first one we made, and it goes on the very top. Put all those loose loops over. There should be 4. We're going to put our black bow on after, so don't worry about that, and we are ready to loop. So get under the body and grab your first 2 bands going to the side. Sometimes they get a little twisted up. That's just makes it a little hard, but it's not so bad. You'll just work through it. Okay, grab your last 2, So first two to the side, next two to the side, next one's going up. Get under your cap, pull it upwards, and upwards one more time. So now you have your center row, and you can start on either side now. I'll go for the right one here. Get under your eye caps and pull up your white. Just keep looping upwards and then to the center. And on the other side, you might want to turn it a little so that you're sure you're getting under all your other bands. Get your two skin tone bands, bring them up to the second peg, and your last two whites to the top, and we'll get under our last caps, whites to the center. You'll want one or two white bands. Stick your hook through all of these many bands on your first top peg, grab your white, pull it through on the hook, and create a slip knot by bringing your bottom band over your top one. Hold on really nice and tight and carefully remove from your loom. We're almost done. We just have to get the bow on and a couple finishing touches here. That top one's going to be a little tricky. So you'll need to do a little bit of adjusting. We're going to pop the eyes onto the side that where we want to see them. At this point you have the option of hiding your white band in the back or wrapping it. You can wrap it a couple of times over the hairpiece if you like. It's going to be hidden by the black, so that's okay too. I think this time I'm just going to wrap it. We're going to take our black piece, which was really tight, remember? Get your hand in there if you can, and we'll just loop this a couple of times over the hairpiece. So pull those black bands out again, twist it over onto itself, right over the white again. It's really tight, so use your hook if you like, and one or two twists should probably do the job. Adjust those eyes. Now, what I found when I was making my legs, on the first one even, is that they tended to spread out a little bit. And so what I did, which worked really, really well, is I put a band right on top, right at the top of the legs, and I twisted it a couple times. And yes, it looks stupid now, but what happens is if you leave it like this, nice and tight overnight, and then you remove it, it'll hold the shape. And if you have this curviness at the bottom, as this one seems to have, you can do the same thing. Take a band, wrap it really, really tight, and leave it for about a day, leave it overnight, and when you remove that, your legs should hold together really well. So once more, just put your eyes where you want them to be, give your arms a little tug to make them a tiny bit straighter. And when you're done, you will have your beautiful Judy Jetson. Thank you for watching.